Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the most devastating periods in 20th century history. We're going to trace exactly how a homeless man surviving on the streets of Austria somehow became the absolute dictator of Germany in just over 2 decades. Let's dig right into the facts and the political maneuvers that actually made this possible.
Look at this unbelievable contrast for a second. Over on the left, in 1909, we've got a 20-year-old failed art student living in a Vienna homeless shelter. But then, just 24 years later in 1933, that exact same individual is the absolute dictator of Germany. So how does a society go from point A to point B?
Let's start with Section 1, the early years and the failed uprising.
If we trace his early path, we go from that shelter in Vienna right to the outbreak of World War I in 1914. He serves in the military, and Germany's bitter defeat in 1918 becomes this massive, defining psychological trigger for him. That sheer anger leads him to join a tiny fringe group in Munich in 1919, which, as you probably know, becomes the future Nazi Party. And by 1923, he feels emboldened enough to attempt a violent takeover of the government.
This chaotic event was called the Beer Hall Putsch. His initial strategy to seize power by violent force completely blew up in his face. The uprising was crushed almost immediately and he was thrown in prison. Honestly, looking at this moment in 1923, you would completely assume his political career was entirely over before it even really started. Which brings us to Section 2, the strategy changes. So, he's sitting in a prison cell, and he writes a book called Mein Kampf. Now, aside from outlining his incredibly extremist ideology, this book served a very specific, calculated, tactical purpose. It was predicting a brand new, strictly political path forward. He realized that armed rebellion was never going to work against the German state. So, actually, scratch that approach entirely. He decided the new strategy was to use the democratic system itself. He was going to pursue power through legitimate political avenues, win elections, and essentially manipulate the rules from the inside.
But, a new strategy didn't mean instant success. From 1924 all the way to 1929, the Nazi Party entered what are called their wilderness years. They were hovering at extremely low support while the German economy was doing relatively okay. Because, let's face it, people don't typically vote for political extremes when things are fine. But then, the Great Depression hits. This global economic devastation provided the exact crisis he needed. Millions of desperate, newly unemployed citizens suddenly turned to radical parties because they were just looking for a savior.
That brings us right into Section 3, Democracy Dies.
What is absolutely terrifying here is how quickly the whole system just collapsed. I mean, we're talking about a mere 18 months for the whole shebang. It starts on January 30th, 1933, with his appointment as Chancellor. A month later, the Reichstag, the German parliament building, burns to the ground. By March, the Enabling Act passes. By mid-1934, rivals are completely eliminated in the Night of the Long Knives, which culminates in him claiming the title of Führer, or Supreme Leader.
Let's break down exactly how this absolute dictatorial control was legally and brutally locked into place. Step 1. The Reichstag fire allowed him to declare emergency powers, stripping away people's basic civil liberties overnight. Step 2. The Enabling Act was pushed through Parliament. And this is vital to understand. They actually voted to give him the power to make laws without parliamentary consent. They literally voted away their own democracy. Finally, Step 3 was the Night of the Long Knives in 1934, which was a brutal purge to crush any remaining internal or external political rivals.
Moving on to Section 4, 2 surprising historical facts.
Okay, here is the first major revelation, and it's a big one. Power was handed over. He didn't seize the chancellorship by force. These elderly politicians in the German government were convinced they could control him. They thought they could just use his massive popularity for their own ends, so they simply handed him the keys to power through these shady backroom political deals. They really thought they were putting him in a box. They were catastrophically wrong. The second stark fact is the terrifying speed at which a functioning democratic system was legally voted completely out of existence. It didn't take some decades-long civil war. Once he had his foot in the door as Chancellor, it took just 18 months of exploiting legal loopholes, abusing emergency powers, and sheer intimidation to permanently dismantle the Republic. All right, let's wrap things up with Section 5, a quick history knowledge check.
Question 1. What was the exact name of that failed 1923 uprising in Munich? Take a couple of seconds to think about it. The answer is the Beer Hall Putsch. If you remember the chaotic events that led to his prison time and forced a total pivot in his political strategy, you are spot on.
Let's go to question 2. What was the title of the book he wrote while he was locked up in that prison cell? Any ideas?
That would be Mein Kampf. That book served as the literal blueprint for his shift from a violent revolution to political manipulation, outlining the very tactics he'd end up using.
Okay, question 3. What term describes that long period of really low Nazi support between 1924 and 1929? Think back to before the economy crashed.
Yes, those were the wilderness years. It was this quiet period where extremist politics just couldn't gain traction, right up until the severe global economic crisis hit Germany.
Question 4 is a specific one. On what exact date was he officially appointed Chancellor?
The answer is the 30th of January, 1933. That was the fateful day those backroom deals we talked about finalized his initial, legitimate grip on the government.
And our final question, question 5, what was the name of the legislative act that officially voted away German democracy? Take a few seconds for this one.
The answer is the Enabling Act. It was literally the piece of paper that legally transferred absolute power to one man. And, this brings us to the core of why this history is so absolutely crucial. We're going to leave you with this final vital question to ponder. If a modern democracy can be legally voted away in a mere 18 months, what does that teach us today about the fragility of our own political systems? Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer.